Story, Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci could be back on stage by the summer. That's after he serves time for a racketeering case in Fulton County. Channel 2's Michael Seiden is live outside the Fulton County Courthouse. And Michael, YFN Lucci was facing life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yeah, Fred, you know, YFN Lucci was one of several defendants named in this RICO indictment. At one point, he was charged with felony murder, and if he had been convicted on that, he could have been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But this week, the start of the third week of jury selection, they found a negotiated plea. They struck a deal with prosecutors. Let me take you back. YFN Lucci, again, whose real name is Rayshawn Bennett, was sentenced as part of this negotiated plea to 20 years in prison with 10 years to serve for his alleged role in a 2020 deadly drive-by shooting. Now, as part of the negotiated plea, Bennett will get credit for time served, which means in about 3.5 months, he will go before the Pardon and Parole Board. The DA's office has also agreed to send a letter that shows they are not opposed to his early release. So according to his attorneys, he could be out by the summer based on that negotiated plea. Now, again, prosecutors said that Bennett was behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV that was used in a gang-related shootout that left one of his passengers dead at the end of 2020. And then he was, of course, charged in that RICO case. Now, one of the trials we've been talking a lot about is YSL. That's the one involving Young Thug. And a lot of people, especially, there's been a lot of chatter that potentially YFN Lucci would be a witness in that case. Well, I spoke with his attorney, Drew Fendling, after this negotiated plea, and this is what he told me about his client appearing on the witness stand. And so many rumors on the internet that this negotiated plea, that we are soon going to see him as a star witness in the YSL case. What can you tell people that are...
Anybody that says that's a liar, we all just went to court today, clear as day. There is no cooperation in the YSL case. He will not be testifying in that case. Anybody wants to subpoena him, we'll file a subpoena to quash that subpoena. He wants nothing to do with that case. He's made that clear for 3.5 years. He has said he knows nothing and he will not participate in that case.
Yeah, and he reiterated that to me a couple of times. Again, no matter what the state says in the YSL case, he says he will not be in that courtroom testifying. Now, I will say that before Bennett was sentenced, he did apologize to the victim's friends and family, as well as his friends' family as well. We're going to have much more coming up on Channel 2 Action News this afternoon. For now, we're live in downtown Atlanta. Michael Seiden, Channel 2 Action News.
I thank you very much.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in as it had broken to the news this morning that YFN Lucci had pled guilty on the RICO charges he was indicted on in Atlanta a few years ago. And eventually they had connected a murder charge in there from alleged drive-by shooting that had occurred where a passenger in the car with him had shot and killed. We saw that break all into the news. It was 1,000 theories going on. I always said innocent until proven guilty. I was not there, and I had to see how everything played out. We then eventually saw where they offered him a deal, and he refused that and said, we're going to trial. And now the headlines are going to read, sentence to 20, 10 to serve, and possibility of parole by this summer. And it's a few layers to break down in this situation. And I had a links in the description where you can watch this in full on WSB TV. And I'm going to get into the write-up in just a second to go back over some things. Michael Seiden was reporting directly outside the courtroom and even hired at YFN Lucci lawyer. And the Young Thug name keeps coming up because of those testifying things when he wanted to make that very clear, as they had already did, that he would not be speaking on that. All this stuff get connected in this game at this point because Young Thug, YFN Lucci, and Donald Trump all have the same DA, Fonnie Willis. But in Young Thug's case, there's accusations and allegations of allegedly attempts on YFN Lucci in there, and other members that hang with YFN Lucci in that situation. But he has nothing to do with that, and they made that clear. Now, when it comes to them taking this time, I don't know how this breaks down, and I don't want to put nothing false out there. I'm just looking at it where they said sentence to 20. I'm thinking the way that they doing it out there, and it could be this, could not, that, hey, we getting credit for 20 years regardless. He pled guilty to the 20, even though he's going to do the 3.5. We got it documented on this RICO charge that we got the 20 years. But for YFN Lucci, he stood and waited, took his day in court, and they was able to come out, and he did apologize to the family of the victim. Most definitely condolences to all them and everything like that. But it's been a whole circular roller coaster ride at this point with everything breaking in the news. We even seen where YFN Lucci was stabbed a couple times and things like that. And the write-up says this: Atlanta rapper YFN Lucci, whose real name is Rayshawn Bennett, has entered a guilty plea in connection to a racketeering case in Fulton County. In May 2021, Bennett was amongst a dozen suspects indicted in a 75-page, 105-count racketeering indictment focused on factions within the Blood Street Gang. The rapper pleaded guilty to 1 count of violation of the Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Bennett initially was facing numerous felony counts, including felony murder, which carried a maximum penalty of life without parole. The prosecutor proposed a 20-year sentence with 10 years to serve. As part of the plea deal, Bennett would get credit for time served, which began when he surrendered to charges on January 13, 2021. The state also agreed not to send a letter to the state's pardon and parole board objected to his release. Since he has served 3 years already, Bennett will be eligible for parole in 3.5 months. If he is granted parole, he will then be released and serve the rest of his sentence on probation. Before he received his sentence, Bennett apologized to a victim's family as well as his own family and friends in court. So even if they do deny him, they still gonna get another opportunity to come back later to get probation or parole or whatever. So he will be out rather sooner than later and be able to continue his rap career and chase his dream and still go get money and everything like that and take care of his family and things of that nature. We seen how this thing played out, and I'm gonna tell you like this: crazy situation, bro. It's like a real live movie at this point. We saw somebody lose their life in this situation, and I'm not gonna speak on this case directly because, you know, I wasn't there, but we seen where these things go down and everything like that. And I try to tell niggas, bro, you know, it's a society niggas is living in, environment that niggas is living in. We gotta spill the real, dog. They locking too many niggas up, giving too many niggas time, dog. And we see how it play out every single time. The same story over and over. Lives being lost, niggas getting a gang of time, niggas losing it all, everything they done worked and grinded for. And then on top of that, the street code that niggas supposed to stick to, we see niggas telling and going up, giving up information and to save themselves in these situations. It just is what it is. I'm going to tell niggas, bro, if you out there, get your money, take care of your family, bro. Because I always say I can't provide no nigga with no way to eat. I can't pay you and put you on no payroll. So I ain't going to tell you, if you got to get out there, get off your little tree, get off your little, whatever your little issue, do that. But do your best to stay out the mix, stay out that beef, stay out that plex, stay out that grease. Because what they doing, they steady building them prisons and them jails, and they steady handing out indictments, nigga. And these last couple years, it has been so many rappers indicted in different things. But think about this. How many niggas is getting indicted that is not rappers? It's way more. Gotta break that cycle, man. Gotta spill the real on that. But YFN Lucci will be able to continue his rap career and everything like that. 3 years, a hard time in that county jail. I know he is thankful to be able to go home and touch his kids and his mother and everybody like that, man. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.